And when that, and quite a few people have been asking me these questions. So I'm planning a workshop for my European audience with the Dancehall Archive, because these are people who are very interested in working and researching, our culture. But the thing is, I started because I'm a child of Jamaica, and I grew up listening to dancehall music, King Yellowman, and these things on the way to schools. And I when I came to the university to do I did a Bachelor's of Arts and a Master's of Philosophy and Political Science at the Mona campus. And while I was doing my research for my my Master's of Philosophy in particular around dancehall culture, I couldn't find any written works. You see, there was nothing written about dancehall much. Carolyn Cooper, Professor Cooper, had written the chapter in her Noises in the Blood, and that was it. There were no books available on dancehall, and I was concerned. So I spent a lot of hours at the Gleaner Company Limited. That time we used to go to the archives and go use a microfiche and spin out and look at the articles and pick out what you wanted from the Gleaner and the Star, because there was nothing written. People were apparently unwilling to write about dancehall because it was something just bad, and apparently it was going to evaporate. So one of the things that I decided was that I wanted to be able to have documentation about Jamaican music from the perspective of a Jamaican who is researching and writing about the culture, not just to go to conferences and seminars and on programs and talk about it. Because what happens if we are not documenting and writing our culture, someone else is going to do it for us. And so the first time I went to Rotterdam, Sunsplash, I remember, and this is after I started writing books. In 2009, I went to Italy. They were in Osaka, Udine in Italy. And I went into a room, they had a ganja, they had a whole tent about ganja. I've never seen so many books written about ganja in my whole life. In Italian and all kind of books. And I searched through these books for something written by Jamaicans. Because, Jamaicans are this is supposed to be a makeup about ganja and all of that. Yeah. Couldn't find a single book. I came back home again, because by that time I had published the Dancehall, my first book, and then I was working towards and I finished my PhD and was working towards my second book, and I was seriously resolved for myself to do my part as a researcher, an academic, and a writer, to build out a body of work, because there's a lot of talking that goes on, especially around Reggae Month. A lot of talking. I remember the mantra I learned as a child. Each person has in their lifetime at least one book they can publish. And I look at a lot of these conversations, and you're sitting on panels and everybody's trying to run jostles to talk. There is nothing written. And so when my students need material, and when non-Jamaicans need material, which material do they find? Bob Marley is the most written about subject in Jamaican popular music, bar none.
Hi there. If you enjoyed that clip, go on over to our website at yardmedia.com, where you can watch the entire broadcast at your leisure. And while you're there, why don't you check out our other reggae music features? And before you leave, pick up some of our Jamaican reggae merchandise, and hey, don't forget to tell your friends.